to, actually, wait, say record, is it recording?
Yeah.
All right. What we're going to do is have a student from the class just go through the directions and you follow your directions. Everything we're doing is in the directions. So that even if the quality of the recording is not that great, if you just had your directions, you could follow along too. And I was going to bring the whole camera crew in here, get makeup done, all that stuff. We're running out of time right now. So, Norway, you come and put in your credentials, log in, get the thing we need, and let's start.
What do we do? Are we doing
Census 1.
Okay.
So last semester, what students would do is just have their computer open, have the directions printed out, and then just have it on the like earphones, headphones, and just follow along and then hit pause to make sure that they were at the same place. So like it doesn't really matter if you can read this recording right now because you have the same recording, the same document. All right, so what's the first? Wait. Go back to the page and what did I write? I wrote something like important stuff here. What does all that good stuff say?
The learning objectives?
Yeah, throughout this course, throughout this course, starting from this assignment to the last, we are going through the process of how social scientists complete a study. For most of our lives, research has just meant being able to understand and summarize what other people have done. But now, in a very simple study, we are going to be contributors to social science by reading what others have done, getting data, and reporting the findings about our own case study. Meaning, probably up until now, you've never actually done original research. You've only been able to summarize what other people have done. And that's what you've called a research paper your whole life, probably. But you've never actually read what other people have done and said, ooh, you know what? I wonder if this would make a difference. You create whatever the study is, you go out and get the data that it's going to need, and you go through with it, find the results of it, and then you report on it. Probably never done that. That's social science. Most of the time, we have just been like, from the first time, I don't know, I had to write a paper about sharks in like second grade, and you know, there's like 400 sharks or 1,000 sharks, something like that. I don't remember. It's a second grade paper. But I wrote about 20 of them. And that was considered research. And that's like, you know, we just kind of progressed with that, but I never jumped into a cage and got to see, well, like, do sharks like second graders or anything like that. That would be testing it out. So this is the difference of like what this big leap that happens here in being an actual scientist is that we are testing out what our methods are, if this is going to reveal anything, if there's going to be any significant findings in here. And all we do as scientists, whether it comes out right or it comes out wrong, we report on the findings. It can come out, like we're going to, at the end of this class, at the last month, we're going to write a paper or make a poster about Miami-Dade public schools. We're going to, about the relationship between poor and minority and school performance. Now, everybody writes all these things about it. There's like thousands of papers written. We're doing a case study about Miami-Dade schools. Based on our methods, nobody's ever done this study before, except for every semester before you. But there isn't a paper published. In fact, we could actually just publish this paper and get it done with. But the methods is what makes the whole thing original. So, if we could find in the end that it comes out to be exactly what we expected or that like everything was just wrong, we still just report what our findings were and then we go on to the next study. Or we improve upon our methods for the next one. Most of the time in our past, we have just written things and formulated what our argument is based on what we a lot of our own personal judgment was in there or what we're trying to make a persuasive argument. In science, there's no persuasive argument. We are just trying to report on our findings. That's what lawyers do. Lawyers, there's all these rules written, and lawyers find this one and try to persuade everybody into doing whatever the hell is in their head. We don't do that. We're just reporting on what we found. We're better than them. Yeah, we are. I don't know if school just wanted just to have more lawyers in the world or something, but that's all we ever really learned how to do was to use information to persuade other people. So I don't know also why you're into your junior and senior year and probably just now getting to see the difference. Probably most of the papers you've written so far have been persuasive arguments even in social sciences. But you're reading or supposedly reading articles that somebody else did a study, and there is no opinion in their study, what they're writing about. They're just reporting. They interviewed these people, and they're reporting on what the interview said. They found this data. This is what's happening with climate. They're not supposed to be bringing any of their own personal opinion in there. And you'll probably get bored because you won't be able to show how special you are till about the last paragraph in December. Up until then, it's going to be pretty dry and pretty boring writing and manipulating data. All right. So in this first assignment, we'll just be getting in the census data and organizing it for the public. I realize most undergraduate students will not be social science researchers. Some of you will, but that's nothing. So somehow your whole of learning about social sciences is being taught to you by people with a PhD who have a very narrow frame of how they go about doing research in the world. And so a lot of us think, oh, I got to get a PhD. If I'm going to be in sociology, I got to get a PhD. You do not at all. That's most overwhelmingly people who do social sciences do not have a PhD and do not do this kind of work that you are kind of being trained to do. So in this class, I'm trying to do things outside of just the publishing of papers kind of social science research. And, actually this next sentence says it. So some of you will, even more than some of you, will work in the social sciences or use social science methods in your work, whether you know it or not. So this is why the most important thing for every assignment this semester, you see that's in bold right there, is that we're taking complicated data and being able to explain it and visualize it to the layman. That's what we're doing. And that's really what, even if you're doing social sciences at the PhD level and doing research in theoretical whatever, we're still taking complicated things and being able to explain it for the public. So very simply, in this first assignment, we're taking all this data about 50 states and 5 different, things we're looking for in there, and we're trying to make sense of it into a simple little table. After we do this assignment, the second assignment, we're going to make visuals to make the data even easier to see and to understand. Most people, and when I say most people, you ever seen these smart boards, right? The smart one, you can just touch on it. It says, big above it, do not use permanent marker. And how many of them have you seen that say, that have something scribbled on the side and say, oops, I wrote in a permanent marker, right? They got messed up because somebody wrote in a permanent marker. Because people don't read. That's what the whole point of this thing is. We're making visuals. Because people don't want to read. People are not going to understand what the hell the data says because people don't deal with data. We're social scientists. We need to be able to explain complicated data, though. People don't read, though. They just kind of skim through and kind of just wait for something to jump. You really got to spell things out for people. All those smart boards, big on the top and the bottom, say do not write on this, but people write on it. And then finally, the visual. The visual is all that people really see. If you think about the visual, the pie chart of military spending. Google that for me 1 second, Norwing. Pie chart military spending. Now, the line item budget of the U.S. government is $3 trillion a year we spend probably. Let's grab, that first one. Yeah. And you could go through all those lines and it'd be complicated as ever. And Congress writes these bills that are 500 pages long. But, all you do is look at that visual. I get it. It goes to the military. Visual. Makes the whole thing a lot easier. You can go through this thing forever and it'd be pages and pages and hearings and chambers of Congress forever. But the visual makes the whole thing easier to see. Next, go back to our page. All right, so we were here The point of this whole thing is we are going to make complicated data about what's happening in society, make it easier for the public to understand. In whatever depths of social sciences that you're going to do, that's what the whole point of it is. Right, I forgot. One of my students just got a job at Census and making like 70 a year after undergrad, working at Census. Census only hires sociologists, geographers, and economists. And they take data about 300 million people and just package it into simple things. Not Census like the people who knock on the door like every 10 years, but actually work in DC. It employs about 2,500 people, and they got like 4 or 5 job listings up there right now for people entry-level jobs making well over 50. But we are just taking these complicated things of what's happening in society, looking at trends amongst the population, and making sense of it for policymakers, for the public to consume, whatever. That's what, in whatever capacity you would be a social scientist, that's what you would be doing. Next, let's open up the first directions there. Oh yeah, I think you already opened it. Okay. So to turn in, so when it's all finished, what this whole thing is going to amount to is a data table. So the cleaned up data, 6 paragraphs describing the table. One of those paragraphs will be methods. 5 of the paragraphs will be analyzing the data. The data will be on these criteria. The U.S. states, the top 5 and bottom 5 for each of these categories. One is per capita income, then poverty as a percent, then high school dropout as a percent, college degree as a percent, and grad degree as a percent. The writing might seem very boring, but that is what methods and data are. Read any journal article that we were supposed to read at some point through our college days, and the data and methods section you probably skip those sections. But that's now you're taking a class on those sections. That's your fault, not mine. So where was I at? Read any article, and the most important section of that paper, but also the most boring. I remember on the first day when I said how important the methods are, based on like if you ranked all the schools or if you ranked like all the cities in the world, but like the methods would really determine if what the number 1 would be. Might have nothing to do with what you even want. It would all depend on what the methods are. Remember this. What you are doing is, in the writing, is narrating the reader on how to go read the table. Tables are hard to read, and your writing is guiding the reader's eyes for what is significant in the data. So So the writing is going to be really boring. It is just going to be this boring table with all these numbers and this column of states and then all these numbers in there, and you're just guiding the reader saying, and the top 5 for most educated are such and such. What you think it's going to be? Florida? No? Most educated?
New York?
Yeah, probably. I think it's usually, there's a trend here, is that all the bad stuff you don't want are in like Alabama and Mississippi and Arkansas. And the good stuff are in small northeast states like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, New Jersey. Not New York. The states without a large rural population. That rural poor population, for these pieces of data, will lower your numbers. All right, so first step 1, Norway. What are we going to do?
We go to Census.
Right, and I got a link right there. I think it should work. If not, just Google. All right, it's right there. Somebody else have the directions, and we're going to help Norway get through this. So, what's he supposed to do now? Somebody, anybody.
Click on Advanced Search.
Click on Advanced Search. Nice.
It says the first filter will be geography. And then countries, then state, and all states in the USA. And then click Add to your selections. Then go back to geography. And click the US. Now, data we download will be at the state level as well as at the total for the
Yes, click on that and then hit add to your selection also.
Okay.
So now we have all states and the United States in there. What should you do next?
Oh, next filters will be in topics. And then click on year. Use 2014 ACS 5-year estimates data. While still in topics, go to educational attainment and then find the
Under people.
Find the table that has the population.
Wait, slow down. Go to education attainment. Go.
Okay.
Now, where are we going to?
And then find the table that has the population over 25. No high
Like
school.
hit element X of this so we can look at the table. Now, right now, there's 170 tables. We've narrowed down our search. We started with, when you first open up Census, there's like, I don't know, some millions of tables. But now we just lowered this thing down to, by putting these filters in, there's only 70 tables. Now we got to find the right ones. And most of what we're going to be doing here is going to be the first one we see. Probably. Because this is your first time doing anything like this. And I've made it, I think, as simple as I could be to make a nice little table that we're going to want. So what does the first one say? Just click on it to open it. And does this have population over 25? Yes, it has everything we're going to need right there.
So I download it.
Yes. I think in the directions it says something about not downloading always checking first to make sure it's the right one before you. What happened? Did the screen go off? What? Says it's on.
No.
Oh, it does say it's off. You're right. How'd you do that?
I didn't do anything.
Nothing, huh? Well, hold on. Well, while this thing is warming back up, what's in there? It says don't download things. What did I say?
You said there will be much more data in the file, but those are the data we'll need to click down.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, find the table. Find the table that has a population over 25 with no high school diploma, college degree, and grad degree. There will be much more data in the file.
Right. So the table's going to be huge, and we're going to just select out the things that we're going to need from there. The oh wow, this is it. Yes. But I thought I said somewhere in there what we don't want to do is we want to check to make sure it's the right one before we download it, because when we download these files, if you look at the heading of it, ACS14 SYR S1501 with annotation, if we're like, eventually we're going to get to times when we got to download like 4 of them. If you download the wrong ones, you're not going to know which one was which and the right one was which. Because also what we need to do is open up the other one. There's 2 tables when you download it. One is the directions of how to read the other one. So what we want to know is, go to the other one first. There are codes as the headings so that we can find the columns we want. Anybody having fun yet? All right, so go back to the directions. I mean, not the how to read the table. Yes, that one. No, the table.
Oh,
that one. All right, so what we want is, first we're definitely going to want the geography that says what the states are. So we're going to want that column. But scroll down. We want to find the 20 here, right in here. Over 25, less than 9th grade. So we want just like highlight that one, like hit that 40. We're gonna want less than 9th grade total population, 9th through 12th no diploma, and we're gonna have to add those 2. So hit Control and hit 46. And then what else we want? College degree is scroll down, slope right in here, somewhere right in there. Total estimate population, number 70. And then scroll, total estimate, number 76. All right, graduate or professional degree. All right, so we want, now if you make column A wider, now it says what the code is. So we want VC08, VC09, scroll down a little bit, VC13 and VC14. Now, if you can imagine, these are all different codes. Each table, the code looks different. So if you download the wrong table, or if you have multiple ones and you're reading the directions for the wrong table, you will copy the wrong columns. This is what you, not just in this class, but to say that you're going to be a social science researcher. Most of it is not just coming out with some conclusion. It is like it'll take you a year of being meticulous about keeping track of data just to come up with being able to say one little statement. That's what research is. That's the reality of it. This is not the fun part where you get to
Look towards.
yeah, you get to throw darts at the problems of the world and say capitalists did this and messed up everything. Like, you know how to really come up with a solid statement like that. How much collecting of data of every bank in the world and how they screwed every person in the world. Takes a lot of data and organizing up your data. It's meticulous. It is boring. Unless you really like to do it. So, what was it again? VCO 8, 9, 13, 14. Okay, go to our table. What we're going to want to do is actually start off with open up a nice clean Excel file also. New clean Excel file. Now, go to our table. And what we're going to want is, actually first, let's grab C. That's the states we're going to want so that everything will be in the same order. Then, go to the right. Slow, maybe it's right in here somewhere. What are these columns? Like make 8O wider. VCO8. No, that's the margin of error. Make 8N wider. That's it. So control this one. And then probably AT. Make that one wider. Is that VCO9? VCO9, yes. And then go, slow. What's BR? Wait, where did I just see BR? That might be it. How big is, make that one bigger. VC13. Is that what we wanted, 13 and 14?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so do that one. And then go a little bit more. VC probably, no. Yeah, oh, that might have been it. BX? Is that an X? Yes, that's it. Okay, so copy those ones. Copy them and put them into a nice clean folder, file. Paste it as the values, yes. And does that have everything we want? Beautiful. Look at that. That is quite a beginning. Now, has anybody had an office job before? You did. Office job. You good with copying columns and no? Nobody's ever done this? We need to add these two together to make it the total dropout. To what? No, okay, yeah. Right. First, we need to make a new column in here. So unselect this stuff. And then click on D and then insert new column. Over, what does that do? Right. Now, what I do is inside of, say, D3, click on it, and I put an equal sign. And then say, actually, one of my students, this always happens too. So I don't like all of some is not going to work because we're going to do a lot more complicated things than just adding. What did the student do? This equals this. You just click on the heading of it plus this. Enter. And I couldn't believe it. It's like, wow, I was writing the whole thing in there. B3 plus the like parentheses, all kinds of more complicated stuff. But I swear, it's always people who have like jobs where they do this. And so if you just grab that little rectangle, the square on the bottom, drag it to the bottom, it'll add up everything for you. Now we have all these things added. So we can get rid of the other ones, right? What's going to happen if we get rid of the other ones? Let's find out. Erase B and C. We don't need them now. It's complicating it. No, like how do I see? Right click on C. Delete. Oh, no. It messed up all of our good work. All right, hit Control Z. Hit Control Z one more time. Okay, now, what happened was when we erased this value only knows in reference to this one. That's why it had like a # REF, right? So somehow we need to get this to exist without that. And it's quite simple. Just like right click on D. If you hit copy, what?
I didn't do it.
If you right click on copy and then right click again on D and hit paste and paste as values. Right, you have these different options of how to paste. See, it says it's on. Now if we delete B and C, it should just disappear on us.
So you copy all the information?
Yeah, we just copied it and just put it right back where it was. That's it. Simple as that. And now it is just it just copied it as the values that's in those cells. We can get rid of B also. Okay, now maybe we should give this thing a title so we know what it is. That's dropout. Is this thing coming back on now? All right, so there's dropout. That's the bachelor's degree and the grad degree. What is the USA total for bachelor degree? At the top of the page, 18.3. Sound right? Well, those people with a grad degree are also bachelor degrees, so you kind of have to add those two. So 30% of Americans have a college degree? Is that what you would have thought? You would have thought more? Less? More. Yeah. Only 30%. This is an elite group that you're going to be a part of hopefully one day. I got all the faith in the world that you're gonna get through this class and the rest of your classes and have a degree. 11% with a grad degree. Now that includes also like professional graduate, like anything that happened. I've seen people with like a certificate in historic preservation. That counts. I don't know if paralegal counts. Maybe. I don't think so. Anyway, so what next do we got to find here? Am I following the directions, kind of? You haven't been paying attention. I think I've been following them. Yes.
I'm actually like confused with the first step since I walked in.
Oh. With what first step?
Like when you have to go to the website that you put the link to, and then geographies after that.
Did you go to geographies?
Yeah. And then after that.
Then you go to topics above geography, or you just select the state. If you're on geographies, you select states. So it's saying at what level do you want to get your data at? These are filters you're trying to create so that we're not rummaging through millions of data sets. Well, I think we're about to do it right now. Again, in your filter, in your selections box, you want to have these things. Actually, you need to get rid of educational attainment, though. Yeah, get rid of that one. USA, Puerto Rico, blah, blah, blah. Now,
You want to just do it again?
no. All right, yeah, do it again.
Okay.
You can just hit clear all selection.
Oh, I didn't see that.
All right, so in geographies, slowly, what do we want to do? Moving slow.
It's working.
Okay, so state.
You go all states within U.S. and Puerto Rico, and you add it.
Yup.
Then you go.
No, you also want to have all the United States also. So we want to know when we say these are the top 5 of whatever of dropouts as compared to what the total is in the U.S. or what the bottom 5 for the dropouts are as compared to what the total is in the U.S. And we selected 2014 because
That's what the directions said.
exactly. And I'm lazy and I didn't redo it yet. I was gonna redo it this summer. I came up with a different way of doing this class, but saving it for winter. Okay, so no, we're not doing educational attainment. We just did that one. What's the next thing we gotta do?
Oh, we're doing the
Equal and poverty.
Poverty. Poverty. Okay. And you got food stamps, heating and cooling assistance, and just straight old poverty. That's what we want. Now, we want poverty as a percent. So hit the X so we can see what the data files here are. Poverty status in the past 12 months. Like I said, it's probably going to be the first one. We're looking for 5-year estimates, 2014. What does that first one say? And
You said food stamps in the past 12 months, right?
poverty.
no, I said poverty in the past 12 months. The first one. Poverty as determined. Oh, so I think it's just this first one. If you go over, right there, 15.6. Now, there is this does have as a percentage population. You see, census words things funny, and it's just hard to even understand. We're just doing census. All government sites do this, and they all speak their own little funny language. Population for whom poverty status is determined. Meaning it's excluding, people who are serving, people who are in jail, people who... So there's 330 million people, but we're only determining it for 306. When you read how it's written when you're in the other file, it's even more complicated. But here's one little trick is, so this is going by state. When we get it, it's going to be going down as a column, not these rows. But USA is 15.6. If you go back, just remember that number, and you go back and download this one. Hit the back to advanced search, and then hit download. One thing you gotta remember, this thing right here is checked off. When you go off to do a next table, this thing will remain checked off. If you looked at it and said, "Oh, that was the wrong one," it's still gonna be checked off, and that's a big problem. Make sure you uncheck it. But we needed that one, so it's fine. So yes, well, okay, open. So yeah, with the annotation. And if we just scroll over in our mind, H has 15.6 in it. Is that the one we want? Yes. So if we just copy that column and put it into our nice clean chart, that actually won't work because of multiple selections. What else? Oh, you have A selected also. Just like double click within a box somewhere. Okay, yeah. No. Now, okay, and put that into our nice clean one. Beautiful. And now we just need one more. So Alabama has 18.9% of the population in poverty. Florida is 16.7. Is that Florida? Yeah. 16.7 means 1 in 6 people are below poverty. Sound about right? Not what you thought? This is inaccurate? You think it's more? You think it's less? You think it's more? Think more than 1 in 6 people are living below poverty?
Up north, yeah, they're like, they're a lot almost.
The poverty line's very low in comparison to the cost of living.
The poverty line. What does even poverty mean? Anybody?
You have
Google that for us.
you have a yearly income that's like below what the poverty level is.
Right, so but what is that line?
Like 15,000 or something.
I ain't really hit it. Something weird. Below what minimum wage is, it seems kind of weird to me. Poverty, well, put poverty line. Yes, third one down. Okay, so federal lines charts right here. It should have it. 2018, for a family of 1, 12,000. For a family of 2, family of 3, 20,000. So what is minimum wage right now? $8.25. DC just raised it at $13.50, meaning if you're 15-year-old and bagging groceries in a grocery store, you're making $13.50. Anyway, what is $8.25 times 40 hours a week times a full year equal?
Right around there.
You never worked an hourly job and spent most of every hour figuring out what
It makes you feel more miserable.
It's less than
It's 17,000.
17,000.
17,000 is what so where did our line go?
But that's if you work every single day.
So if you're
Tax.
Yes.
No vacation.
Yeah. It's basic. So if you take off for the 2 weeks, it's basically what the family of 2 is what minimum wage is.
Haven't we only gone up like 5 cents in the last 10 years?
I think in the past, it's gone up about $1 in the past 5 years. $7.25 and it's $8.25. It just for I meant what's the federal? It's not $7.75 still, right?
No,
What's federal minimum wage?
Want to Google that?
Yeah. Google federal minimum wage. Yeah, but that's it's $7.25. Yeah. So that's what I said. The minimum wage is less than what the family of 2 poverty line
It
is.
is.
Yeah, $7.25 is the minimum wage.
And chances are, if you're making that, you're not going to work the 40 hours.
Yeah.
Oh hell no! You're in a place that they're only going to give you 30 hours, so they don't have to
There's no line. Mississippi.
Wow.
Georgia, 519.
Where?
Yo, how the hell? I thought federal minimum wage. You ever see Chris Rock saying what the minimum wage really means? What the minimum wage says is there is a law saying I have to pay you this amount, but if I could pay you any less, if the government didn't get in the way, I'd pay you less. But there's a law saying I gotta give you this.
Montana's $4
That's unbelievable. I didn't know you were allowed to go below the minimum wage. Actually.
I think that's just saying that they at the state level they didn't pass the law.
All right. Out of here. Let's get to our next one. So, that line, then you might look around and see a lot of people. Because here in Miami, what do you think the average income is of people? How much are they making?
Does it? I just read that Miami has the largest wealth disparity in any city.
I can see that.
It's because of stars.
Do you see all those people?
Yeah, there's
Like,
neighborhoods
like,
like
working
working
on
people got growth
and then everybody else
all the
works
neighborhoods
so
around it.
Yeah. It's part of what Miami is and why there is no like social safety net, no social movements here or anything like this. Why the housing, the landlord-tenant laws are like some of the worst in the whole country, especially for a city this big to have this bad of laws, is because what the whole reason for it being here is. It's not to start any social movement. This is just for rich people to play. And as long as there's enough rich people, then the city can sustain, or the county can sustain 2.5 million people, overwhelmingly doing jobs in some kind of service industry. Like overwhelmingly. And there's not any big collective consciousness of doing things beyond really that of just kind of hanging out when you're not at your service industry job. Be amazed what other movements, what other young people around the country are into. It's a whole movement happening in other cities.
No political conscience.
No, Miami kind of has the look of it sometimes, but there is no collective consciousness of it. Like, I was quite surprised how easy it is for a landlord to kick a tenant out when they don't want you there. It's just a different mentality of, like, and you talk to people like, yeah, well, it's their place. Like, no, they're providing you a service. You live in there. Your home shouldn't be somebody's like retirement interest. It's not their investment. They decided to invest in providing homes for people. But if they just say, oh, well, I can get more for it now. These people got to go. They can get you out of there in less than a month. You realize even if you're not paying rent in other places, it's going to take like 6 months. And if you are paying rent, you just can't get anybody out, ever. Like, it's just not going to. You just start to hope for accidents to happen. Let's get the per capita income one. So, let's make sure this is not checked off any longer, though. Then get rid of poverty. And per capita income, okay, if you go to topics, and then I think there's a category income under people. And then income individuals. And income, what's the first one? I think it's going to be like written funny. So I click on that one. Okay, let's see, medium, mean, no. All right, go back, hit the back button. Uncheck that one, and then right in that, see right above, refine your search results up a little bit, and just write per capita. And click on the first one. And yes, the 5-year estimate. And I think, right, 28.5. That's the one. So hit back and download this one. These are social science terms. We made these terms up and we use them. And if you're going to be entering the job market one day, we really should know that. Like, what's the difference between the mean, the median, the per capita, the mode? Which one would make the most sense for you?
The mean.
The mean?
That's like you average everything together. Like you add up everything and then divide by however many you have.
Why would this take a long time? This is the shortest one on my arm. What is the difference between them? So the mean is the average. Then what's the per capita?
I don't know, I know what mode is, and I know what median is.
Median.
It's the middle number, and
Uh-huh.
then mode is the number that like appears the most.
Exactly. You wouldn't want that one?
Oh, that's probably true.
That's the one we can't ever find. That's probably, if you wanted to know if you're making, if this is what people are really making, and you just had like, let's say you just had all from 10,000 all the way up to like, how much is the most that somebody makes, you think? You guys don't imagine this stuff when you're at your $8.25 an hour job also?
Top 1%.
Yeah, like how much is somebody here making? I mean, well, all right. Simply, if Bezos is worth $100 million, $100 billion, how much do you think he makes per year? Just off of the interest of his $100 billion, I bet, because he's not like you getting 1% at the bank. He can't. That's what a hedge fund is. They can't sit. They get restless if they don't make less than 15%. So I bet he makes like 20% just off of his $100 million. That's $20 billion a year before he even gets to any Amazon profits. That's just off of the profit of his $100 billion. Billion with a B. All right, so we copied this. We put it into our nice clean table. So median. Well, which one are we saying? Median.
The mode is the one that.
All right. So median. The mean average would be you add up. You take all of the incomes and you add them, divide them by the amount. The median would be you line them all up and then you find out where the middle one is. The mode, though, would be, let's say you take, like, line up all the, it's easier if you go, like, 0 to 10,000, 10,000 to 20,000 in $10,000 increments, and the one that you just get the most dots at every time you say, this person makes 45, ding, this person makes this much, ding. Then you would find a much better, where the range, where the most people of that range are. Range is also something really important. I don't know if you remember all these terms from like 5th or 6th grade or something in math class and didn't know these are social science terms. But this is how we use to figure out what's happening amongst people. So the range is actually what we're really doing in this assignment. For each one of these, we're going to find the high and the low within this range and find out what the middle is. Well, they already have it because we have the total of the United States. So we got 8, we got 15 plus 8, 20 more minutes. Let's see. Why don't we give all of this some new, better titles? Just highlight row 2. Just hit the 2 and hit delete. Right click, delete. And then highlight 1 and then hit the button delete. Not that delete. Hit the button delete. And I think it'll delete all the things in there, but keep the row. Right. Okay. So now, like in column A, maybe write state. And then B, what you like? Drop out. Then BA degree. Grad degree. What was this one? Poverty. And then per capita, PCI. 26,500 is the per capita income in Florida. Sound about right? Per capita, though, is probably not the number you want. That just takes up everybody who's working age. There's a lot of retirees here. They're not really making anything. So that number probably, if you're graduating with a college degree in Florida, I hope you're going to make more than $26,000 per year. You think so? Who thinks you're going to make more than $26,500? Yeah? That's it? 70% of this class thinks they're not going to make more than $26,000.
You hope to make more than that when you graduate.
I sure do hope so. I hope the college degree gets you more money than it costed you. Somewhere in there, young. So, what are you going to be doing that you're going to be making all this buku dollars? Yeah.
I want to be an urban planner.
Okay. When you graduate, you're going to make more than 26? Yeah.
I want to get a master's.
Okay. What you want a master's for?
Urban and regional planning.
Yeah. And that's going to make you more money?
Hope so.
You hope so. You want to work for like a city, county?
City or like a firm or something.
Okay. Here in Florida?
Maybe. Probably not.
They don't have too much planning here, I think.
Yeah.
And if you got the money for the permit, then go do it. All right, what else can we do to this thing? What is on my directions? We need to get rid of DC, because look at DC. It's got a high dropout rate, a huge, the biggest, 30% of DC got a grad degree. It's also got 46,000 as the per capita income. DC does not, is not fair. It's not a fair comparison. Because it's not a state. It doesn't have a rule. It's attracting people from all over. They got the K Street Mafia. You heard of them? No, you guys don't know what K Street Mafia is? It's where all the lobbyists are. Everybody with a law degree who really makes this country great again. Yes.
I want to do this kind of data for all the states. I know you're taking out DC. Do you keep in Puerto Rico?
No, we're about to get rid of Puerto Rico too. So let's get rid of Florida and let's get to Puerto Rico's actually at the bottom, I think. Yes. Because Puerto Rico was only 11,000 and it had like 45% poverty.
But they're added in there automatically.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico
But not the rest of them. Yeah, hit actually like delete the right click. Yeah, there you go. And go up. Did you get rid of actual DC? Yes. All right. So now, I think in the directions too, I posted, so like this was all step one, I think. Somebody help me?
Yeah.
Right. And there's actually a document, then a PDF you can download, and it looks, so that yours should look just like this. And I have a reference, right? It looks like this. I guess I didn't get rid of DC yet. But it's got everything else. The numbers all looked the same, except for, oh, that's right. We added these two together. Bachelor's with that. Beautiful. Everything looks the same. The next step 2 is what? Cleaning the data. And what are we supposed to do? Wait, step 2, part 1, what does this one look like? Step 2, part 1. Oh, right. And step 2, the next one? No, next one. Oh. No, okay, my fault. Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, so this one is the
states aren't in order.
Right. Hold on, 1 second. What we're going to do, and then what step 3 look like? Right, one nice clean table that's been formatted. And you see it's off color like white, gray, so you can actually, like, your eyes can roll across it. All right, so in step 2, what's the first step we're going to do? I think it's what we just did. Get rid of Puerto Rico and DC.
Mm-hmm.
Then what? Go to our Excel. So we get rid of Puerto Rico and DC. Then what?
At the bottom of your Excel file is a plus sign. Click on this plus sign and a blank sheet opens in your file.
Yeah. Over here, next to the bottom left is a plus sign. Just to add more sheets. What we want to do is now find the top 5 and bottom 5 for each one of these pieces of data. So, go back to our sheet 1. So simply, if we go to the top, right click on dropout, or no, on B, I mean. Hold on. And then over here is sort and filter. Yeah, hit the sort over on the right. And go smallest to largest, or largest, doesn't matter. All right, so if we hit that, and look at this. It's saying Do we want Microsoft Excel found data next to your selection, meaning the rest of our columns? Since you have not selected this data, it will not be sorted. What do you want to do? Do you want to expand it so it sorts it all, or do you want to leave it alone?
Leave it alone.
We want to expand it. So that when we change the order of this,
Oh, yeah.
then everything else will change also, so we'll still know what state it is. Yes. So sort. Okay, now, if we go to the top 5 and just click on the 2, hold down the shift button, and hit the 6. Right. And then scroll to the bottom and control 52. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 48. Shift. And then press copy. And then go to our sheet 2. And hit paste. Paste its values. There you go. Now we have the top 5, bottom 5 of whatever that first column was. Dropouts. Now, go back to our sheet 1. We're going to do the same thing for each column. So repeat that step 5 times. So hit the C and sort that from highest to lowest. Yes. Then go there to there. Copy. Then do D. So what is happening here is then it seems like we're repeating it, but all the columns have the same data in it. Once we've done this, we could then erase the repeats. Because Alabama, I know we do it like 3 times. It was in the bottom 5, maybe even more than that. Not to pick on Alabama, but poverty. So then we can just erase the repeats, and we'll be with a table that has about 20 different rows in it, I think, if he knows what he's doing here. Did you hit copy?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Good job. All right, last one. He is moving fast.
Should I slow down?
No, it's fine. It's just the same repeated thing. Damn it.
Why is it doing that?
Because of him.
No.
I,
Check it out, the timer.
is it on a timer?
It goes to 6.
All right, now get rid of those empty spaces in there. Yeah.
I can tell them apart though.
And then easy. He's just now we have 50 rows, right? We have 50 rows in ours. You'll see in 1 second there'll be 50 rows that pop up here. And then if we just put the states then in order, right? But don't go erasing anything yet. Wait for this thing to come back on. How much do you think an urban planner is going to make when they graduate from college? No idea? Maybe it's me. I think about money too much. I'm looking around the room. I'm not really seeing your faces. I'm just seeing a dollar sign if it's big or it's small. All right. So let's put these in order, alphabetical.
So A to Z.
Yeah. Expand. Yes. And then Alabama only comes up once. Oh. All right. So Let's just get rid of the repeats. Like you can erase one of the Alaskas, 3 of the Arkansas. Yeah. A couple Kentuckys.
Is there a faster way to delete this, or do I just go one by one?
You can just hit delete right now
Okay.
because there was 3 Maryland instead of 3. So hit delete again. Just so happens, no, well, hit the right click delete. Yeah, but no, there's not a faster way. Minnesota's only 1. Mississippi made it every time. You think to the high or the low, to the good or the bad. Anybody ever been there? Never been to Mississippi? You did. Nice?
It's like pretty,
Is it? I never been.
like nice old
The
old
coast.
trees and buildings and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's not like
Those big houses with the weeping willow type of thing, and the big fields next to it. That kind of thing. All right, so we're left with 23 states. Go to the 1, insert a row, because we got to add in our column of headings. Hit the 1, insert a row, then insert a row again. And then go back to our sheet 1. Sheet 1 down here. And let's grab the United States and grab our heading. So the United States is going to be somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And then copy that. Yes. And then also just grab the headings. And then if we select from, like, click on the box that says state and then select all the way down to F25. No, like just hit the actual state though. Hit the cell, yeah. I don't know if you could drag. Don't do that. Just then hit shift and then hit this cell over here. Right. And then where is it? Formatting as a table. Top right in the center. Top of the row, right in the center.
Top of the row.
Of the whole thing. Up one.
Toolbar.
The toolbar, my fault, yeah. Up, right, one more. Right there. Format as a table. All right, and just grab one of them, like that one.
This one?
Yeah. And hit OK. And hit anywhere. So on that you can't really see it, but that made it look beautiful. Easy to read with the rows countered of white and gray scale. Beautiful. Made a nice table. When does this due? Oh, everybody's acting like they don't know now, huh? I think I wrote it somewhere. I didn't write it anywhere. On the syllabus? How about on the syllabus?
It's due September 7th.
September 7th, right. So next class, you go and do all of this and come in with your table and any questions. Then the next class, we're going to go through what to write. And then we'll have all done our homework in class, and you just then go and do it on your own outside of class. See, I don't understand. People, if you ever read this website, Rate My Professor, these people are so mean. Like, I don't have a mom or something. My mom doesn't look down at that and says, what are they doing to my baby? Why would they treat you like that? Like, I don't have a son. Other guys, who's the best professor out there?
you?
Exactly. You trying to hurt this kid's feelings now?
You know who the scientist is?
Who?
Dr. Hammond.
Who?
Yeah, Dr. John Hammond.
Who's that?
The creator. That's hard.
Oh.
Dinosaur. You gotta be kidding me.
I created a table. So in the next class, but see, the thing is, I'm not gonna be here. There's gonna be the best of the best. My grad student Karina is gonna be here, and Melissa, and they're gonna help you with your table to write about and come up with all the things for what each paragraph should look like, and then you write it. Simple. You just come to class, you participate, and we do all the homework. And now you've learned how to get government data, make a complicated table and complicated data really simple. Now all we're going to do is just explain it of what's happening. Not put any opinion in there about. I know some. What did you want to say about Mississippi and why they had all the categories of the stuff you don't want? Don't say we don't have any opinion in this. We're scientists. All right. So I will see you.